Alright, so here's what I'm thinking. Let's just go ahead and do the DLC and, kind of do it kind of in the right spot, regardless of certain plot things. So before we do that, though, I found something.
I have something for you.
It's a book.
This one is quite rare, actually. The book is by Shartan, the elf who helped Andraste free the slaves. You know about him, right?
A little. It's just... slaves are not permitted to read. I've never learned.
It's not too late to learn, Fenris.
Isn't it? Sometimes I wonder. I don't mean to seem ungrateful. I do appreciate the thought. I've always wanted to learn more of Shartan. Perhaps this is my chance. Always a pleasure.
Alright. Now, let's go ahead and start the DLC. I'm going to be doing a little different of a comp instead of what the usual go-to comp for this DLC is for the full story. I did show that when we did this in the original run of this game, so if you'd like to see that, just head on over to that one. So what I'm talking about is that the ideal party, if you want the most out of the story for this DLC, is Varric, Vengeance, and your sibling. So, that's the go-to. Now, obviously, I would highly recommend bringing your sibling, so of course we're bringing Bethany. Now, you don't have to take Varric and Vengeance, but it's definitely a good idea, because like I said, you get the most story out of this party, with Vengeance's commentary during and at the end of the DLC, and of course Varric at the beginning, along with kind of early on when we encounter the guy who he says helped make Bianca. But other than that, if you want, you can bring other characters as well. Now, I am going to leave Vengeance out of this. I am going to take Varric, and we're going to bring Fenris.
I have a report you might find interesting. It tells of a chasm in the Vinmark Mountains, and a secret that was said to be buried within. Yet when the Chantry went to investigate, they were turned away by the Grey Wardens.
And why would I find that interesting?
Because the champion was there. I can't help but notice you failed to mention this adventure.
Oh, that? I didn't think you'd be interested. Just some business with Hawk's family. A few Carter dwarves who went too far. You're not going to believe me.
I'll take my chances.
All right. Don't say I didn't warn you. There it is.
That's where these dwarves are?
These are Carter dwarves, so they're more criminals and smugglers than anything else. They're not usually stupid, though. I don't know why they'd attack you.
They snuck into the gallows. If there hadn't been Templars to stop them.
And there was that other group that broke into the mansion.
You have a plan, then? I found their hideout, but my sources couldn't tell me anything else. It's all very strange.
Why do you say that? It's just the Carter, isn't it?
As far as my contacts in the Carter know, they shouldn't be here. There shouldn't even be a here. This place is invisible. A big blind spot on the map. Bianca's never been this suspicious, and she's twitchy to start with.
Does it matter? We just need them to stop trying to kill us.
A fine point. So, what's the plan?
They're going to stop their attacks, one way or the other.
Well, that sounds final.
So we're just going to walk in, start cutting off heads?
Don't worry, Sunshine. The bloodstains come out.
Whatever happens, they won't get a chance to attack again.
At least the Circle let me come. I didn't want you to do this alone.
Let's go.
So obviously we gotta level Bethany here. One of the reasons I brought Fenris was that if you bring whoever you're romancing in this early portion, and they mention the attack on the mansion, the romance interest you bring will kind of commentate on that, especially depending on who it is and the situation and the timing. Because, of course, a couple of specific party mates can be able to actually move in with Hawk. And therefore, they can comment on how they were there in the mansion when the attacks happened. So, yeah. That's a thing. I always found this kind of interesting that Bethany is apparently a Force mage. Yes, she uses the Force. Use the Force, Bethany. Da-da-da-da-da. Here we go. All right.
It seems we're in the right place.
They're from the Merchants Guild. The Carta doesn't kill guild members. That's really strange.
So what I was hoping for was that when I brought Fenris, was that he was going to bring some kind of unique line or something there.
Look!
It's the Hawk!
People watching us!
They'll alert others to our presence.
The time has come!
Can you hear that? We'd best be careful.
So, by the way, yes, this is the mandatory DLC to play in this game before you move on to Inquisition. If you know Inquisition, you know why.
Both sisters, you're here together. You've come!
Is he referring to you and me?
Everyone! It's the children of Malcolm Hawk! They've come to us!
What does my father have to do with this?
It began with him and ends with you. Blood for blood, that's what we were told.
Did Father do something to the Carter?
You've come to us now, and that's the only thing that matters.
You come after my family, you pay the price.
We must have the blood. You don't understand.
Right. So much for conversation.
We will take it. Corypheus will walk in the sun once more.
Yeah.
What are you, afraid?
Ugh, these outdoor environments. Sorry.
When's the fighting start? Bianca's starting to get bored.
Stop it. Trying to tell it to go loot that, and it keeps going the other direction for something else. Not really sure why, or what. I remember doing this, and this part at times could be a little rough because of the traps and stuff that they set up. And the way this went, I found myself thinking, doesn't this seem a little anti what they're going for here?
Only many generations of warriors. make me nervous. I think it's over. Did you hear that? They're after us. For our blood. But why? Does it matter? They're not getting it.
Clearly these dwarves are insane. Perhaps even more so than Varric.
I heard that.
The Carter doesn't normally act like this. They're businessmen.
I'd like to know who this Corypheus is. Whoever he is, he's going to answer for this.
A dwarven prison?
Dwarves don't do prisons, Elf. This is a trash heap. They threw something away here and hoped it wouldn't come back.
By the way, I apologize for encountering some banter that I didn't capture on camera. Sorry, guys. I was running around with Isabella and Varric, and Isabella starts saying, you know, you should come with me, feel a woman's touch. And Varric goes, Isabella, are you talking to Bianca? And she's like, oh, yes. He's like, yeah, I could, you know, show her what it's like to have a woman's touch on her trigger. And he's like, Bianca only responds to me. And she's like, oh, that's what they all say, and I always prove them wrong. He's like, and then he goes, stop it. You're confusing her. And me. We called it Malvernus, the pestilent one. It devoured Tigers, turning our fairest work into a noxious waste. It consumed living warriors, turning their bodies to slime. And when its hunger was not abated, it consumed the bones of our ancestors. Foulness came from its touch, poison and filth and desecration. It threatened even the stone itself. The Shapers bound it, chained in lyrium, stained with the blood of 100 warriors. But within the orb it hungered. It waited. We carried it here to the wasteland of the surface, where it can threaten nothing of value. The stone will live. The stone must live. We have sworn to defend it from the foul one at any price.
This place has a history of crazy dwarves. Perfect. And there it is.
A fortress. Here in the middle of nowhere.
That's another thing about this part that I found rather annoying and tough, if you're playing this legit, is all the traps here.
I always wanted to try this.
And of course the Brontos, and yeah. Playing this on higher difficulties, well, you can remember what I said at the beginning of this playthrough about how the difficulty is basically just turning them into health sponges? So now, think about, you know, how the way this DLC is set up in this opening portion, and think about that on higher difficulties. Yeah. Not fun. Foolish dwarves. You cannot stand up to Frostmourne. That is pretty nice to be able to do that. Just BAM!
Mother seemed happier. A few years distance from all that loss. It's a good thing. She must worry with both of us in a place like this. She was so adamant I not go last time.
And look what happened.
I'd have gone to the circle eventually. Perhaps not so gently. Better or worse. It is what it is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she has, there's a bit of different dialogue there, obviously, depending on if she is either with the Circle or if she's a Grey Warden. I think I saw there was supposed to be an update for specs on one of the mods I was using, and I was like, not Maybe if I play this again as a mage, which I wouldn't mind. Like I've said, I really do enjoy the gameplay of this game for all 3 classes, so... Just a bunch of random health potions. It's like they knew that the difficulty was going to be tougher, so they were like, yeah, let's give them some.
Underground. And you avoid the Carter the same way you do the Merchant Guild.
There's no way I'd miss watching you make these motherless nug-lickers cry. If you want to punch a few stalagmites on the way there, that's good too.
When you tell people about our escape from Lothar, why do you make it sound like I had food all over my face?
You're larger than life, Hawk. I had to give you a few flaws just to make you approachable.
Did you just call me fat?
Yes, that's pretty much how I tell it. Hawk rolled into the fray like a gigantic pudding covered in gravy. It's more dramatic that way.
I hope the story ends, and then Hawk backhanded the mouthy dwarf.
Everyone's a critic.
I've already given my shining praise to Brian Bloom and how much I love him playing Varric, so... Yeah, we'll be heading there later. My team was sent to evaluate the fortified structures that overlook the northern caravan routes in the Vinmark Mountains. The Viscount's library suggests the buildings were part of an ancient Grey Warden fortress constructed to guard the pass, but abandoned after the Free Marches gained independence from Tevinter. Our examination revealed construction that is remarkably sturdy for its age. The fortress's foundations reached deeper into the rock than expected. 2 levels below the surface, we discovered a series of twisting underground passages chiseled out of the mountain itself. I commanded the men to set up camp there. Not an hour later, one of the newer men reported voices from the depths. He flew into a frenzy, demanding that we leave immediately. Those unused to tight spaces often display such hysteria. Thankfully, I was able to calm him before his raving affected the rest of the team. But he was gone this morning. Tracks lead deeper into the caravans. We shall follow him.
You mess with the wrong dwarf, Sky Apple!
Another one for me! How many have you got, Hawk?
Done.
Hold up. We need the Hawk.
If you need me alive, then why were you trying to kill me with these traps? Alright, Varric.
We're good to go.
Here we go. Oh, not yet. Now in we go.
I could do this in my sleep!
Now, obviously, this is I think it's a pretty cool DLC, and there's a number of reasons for that. One of which is, well...
To say, I hope this is less exciting than our last trip to the deep roads.
Obviously, that dialogue would probably not be there if we were doing this back in Act 1.
You
Which I never have.
one lucky son of a bitch.
Is this about the Diamondback game? Again?
I've never seen anyone bluff like that in my life. I was sure you had a handful of nothing.
So was I. You're the one who pointed out I had 4 serpents.
See? Luckiest bastard I've ever seen.
More like, he was just like, oh, I guess I actually lost. He's like, no, wait, you didn't.
Is there a reason I wouldn't?
I just am pleased to see you. That's all.
Smooth.
Smooth, Fenris. Real smooth. To capture the Hawk, we have tracked Bethany Hawk to the gallows where the mages are housed. Bring her intact and unharmed. The blood of Malcolm Hawk must remain pure. If someone gets in your way, kill them, but do it quietly. The Great One will reward you richly for your service. In the name of the Master Corypheus, may he see sunlight again.
Dwarves can't use magic, blood, or otherwise. And what's this got to do with Father?
The Master Corypheus. Clearly, these dwarves have found a demon to worship. But why would it seek your blood?
I guess we only get that answer from Corypheus.
If I get the Hawk's blood.
What was that about getting the Hawk's blood?
Victory!
Messing with us is suicide.
Never mind. I was like, I thought there was something right here. I guess not. Oh, is that what this is? You can get a pretty cool looking set that's supposed to be like for Grey Wardens for each class, and I think my favorite is the warrior one. Praise Corypheus! Like many of you, I was once a thieving wretch. I was a servant to coin and my own base desires, and that is when I heard his call. Corypheus opened my eyes, just as he has opened yours, and showed me what was true. What is the Carter beside Corypheus? Nothing but dust and ashes. Only Corypheus is eternal. We are his hands and his eyes on the surface. We are the ones he honored with his trust to dig him from his prison in the deep roads. When Corypheus steps into the sunlight, we will be rewarded. Praise him! Praise Corypheus! Yeah. Obviously, you know we'll see more of this later on.
It is not our place to question.
There's probably a lesson here about the danger.
Varric? That's another reason I brought you. Luck picking! All the health potions. I'm guessing that's from the devs going, boy, this DLC is going to be tough. Let's make sure to provide them with stuff to help them out. Especially if they're playing this on higher difficulties. Alright, so here's a unique cutscene for Varric.
The Master will rise. He will be free.
Garav?
Varric? No one told me you would be part of this. We were just going after the Hawk.
Why has the Carter been attacking me?
I Can't say. The Master must be free.
Really, Garav? I thought better of you than this. I mean, gutting the occasional competitor for fun and profit, that's the game. But what are you all even doing here? Worshipping demons?
We drink the Darkspawn blood. He calls us.
Why would you do that? Won't you just die?
It's the only way to hear the music.
Oh, come on, you nug licker. Snap out of it. There's no gold in hallucinating.
We don't have time to get friendly with the crazies, Varric.
Hawk, this is Garav. He's a greedy, brilliant bastard son of a nug from the Carta. Garav, this is Hawk. The one whose blood you want to drink, or bathe in, or whatever. But if you're after eternal youth, I've got to tell you, she's no virgin.
The Master is calling. He needs the blood.
Garav, buddy, this isn't like you. Look, I've still got Bianca. Never misfired a day in her life. You don't want her to see her papa like this, do you?
So, first off, yeah, thanks, Varric, for, well, I guess he obviously must have heard about Hawk's little night with Fenris. So he's like, I gotta tell you. And both Hawk and Fenris just turn and look at Varric like, geez, Varric, can you kind of not blab about that, please? But we all know Varric loves to tell his stories. And yes, apparently this is the guy who actually made Bianca for Varric. So, yeah.
I'm sorry, Varric. But whoever he used to be, it's gone now. Look away.
You brainwashed piece of shit. How can someone so smart be so dumb? Reinforcements, you bastard! Watch out! You poor, stupid bastard. I used to do business with the Carta. Back in the day. Garav was a nutcase then too, but in a good way. He was trying to design a new type of repeating crossbow. Bianca was the only one that ever worked. I can't believe he ended up like that.
So yeah, that's one of my favorite reasons to bring Varric. Getting that little bit of extra story in regards to Bianca. Because of course, we all love Bianca. And if you don't love Bianca, what is wrong with you? So here's something interesting. We can actually go ahead and dip out of this DLC if we want. Like, we can do this and be like, alright, that's fun. I'm going to go back to Kirkwall and then I'll come back later. So, in fact, we'll go ahead and cut off here. And when we return, we will be continuing to delve deeper. But, not greedily and deeply. Stay tuned.